right, don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehellblaze.com. Promo code Goodfellow1Boxing. Get you 18% off the 100% all natural products. Website, promo code, description. Thanks. All right, man, they announced the triple header as we all been anticipating. Terrence Crawford is taking on the Mean Machine. Richard Commey taking on Teofimo Lopez for his IBF strap. I think it's the actually everybody main event on this card. And Mick Conlan is rematching Vladimir Nikic, I don't know his name. The guy that apparently he got robbed in the Olympics against. But hey, we back, Goodfellas Sports TV. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the videos. And I think all of us was anticipating this card. Now, Bob Arum be out there, lying to the media. Maybe that was the anticipation because Julian J. Rock Williams was supposed to fight December 14th. In anticipation, he said to World Boxing News was that Commey and Lopez was going to be on ESPN Plus, and then Crawford and Egidijus was going to be on ESPN after the Heisman Trophy showcase. Now, that's the ticket about this fight. The reason why this fight is going to be so high with high viewership is because it's after the Heisman Trophy showcase, and millions and millions and millions of everybody watches that. So that's a good thing. I like the card. I might think about going to New York for it, man. Support Crawford. Support, I like Lopez and Commey. I like Mick Conlan. I seen him fighting his professional debut, Madison Square Garden Theater Room. I think the Islanders or the Rangers were playing at Madison Square Garden that same night. The city was electric that night in New York. And New York is probably one of my favorite cities I've traveled to. I've been to Toronto. I've been down to Greensboro, Charlotte, Montgomery, Atlanta, Texas, a little bit everywhere. Ohio, Indiana. And, New York is easily one of my favorite places to visit. But overall, I'm glad it ain't pay-per-view. Let me just say that first. It'll be just like Bob Arum to try to sell this as a pay-per-view and say, we have 3 great cards, and I'm going to keep it real. I like Terrence Crawford. I like the way he fights, but I wasn't paying pay-per-view for this. I like Lopez and Commey a lot. I wasn't paying pay-per-view for this. And I also think a slept-on fight card is the Mick Conlan card. Now, the guy that he fighting, the Vladimir Nikic guy, I butcher people's names. I think I'm the best in the business at it. It's 3-0, no knockouts in the pros yet. And Mick Conlan won his comeuppance off of him, robbing him in the Olympics. So I think that fight gonna be first, and I believe it's got a great backstory. I think it's a great card to set the tone. And for people asking, I don't know if PBC gonna do another fight card that night. Tank said he ain't fighting December 1st. So either he fighting December 14th. That's what I heard was the date. First it was the 7th I heard. And then I heard they didn't want to do it. So either Tank fight December 14th. Tank was gonna fight December 14th. I believe was the original date that I heard, one of them. And the reason that didn't happen, or the reason it was supposed to be a dual card, and then J-Rock moved to January 18th. Now, Tank can come back on December 14th on Showtime. Obviously, they got the Fox card available, so I don't know if it's going to be at Royal Farms again, but it's going to be versus Gamboa. So, Tank still could fight that night. I doubt it to be in New York as J-Rock and whoever heard was going to be, but now things is changing up. So, right now, Crawford will be the only guy fighting in New York. He won't be the only guy fighting December 14th. Let me say that first. UFC got a card with Emmanuel Nunes scheduled to take place December 14th, a UFC card, I heard. Okay. Also, I believe Chavez and Danny Jacobs might be fighting December 14th as well. And also, you can have Gervonta Tank Davis fighting December 14th. So, you got a couple fights that could be going down that day. Few combat cards, but at least you won't have Terrence Crawford getting programmed from J-Rock and Hurd. That would have been a great fight on Free Fox. You might have Tank at best on Showtime. I doubt if he on Fox due to the relationship with Mayweather, Steven Espinoza. So I wanted to fill people in on that real quick. But To start off with Crawford and the Mean Machine. Well, Mean Machine, I talked about Mick Conlon and his little rival. I ain't really been impressed with him so far in the pros. But guess what? It ain't how you start, it's how you finish. And I'm open-minded. Want to see him do good. But right now, Stevenson killed him. And the old boy that beat Stevenson in the Olympics, the Rabizrio guy, Roberts, whatever his name is, he switched his corner up. I think he with Ishmael Salas now in Vegas. Don't quote me on that, but he switched his corner up. I meant to talk about that in the stream, or before I got this about a few weeks ago, but he switched his corner up. So, one loss don't mean nothing. Bernard Hopkins lost his professional debut. You know what I'm saying? But that is what it is. But we'll see what happens. But I still think that Rabizrio guy, hopefully I'm butchering his name, is going to have a better career than Mick Conlon. But we'll see with Mick Conlon and see if he get past his boy. But his boy ain't got that much power that he fighting, apparently. And I expect Mick Conlon to get past him. But Crawford and the Mean Machine, people going to make fun of it. Oh, who's Crawford fighting? And right now, the Errol Spence and Crawford slander, or the back and forth, has really come to a halt. I ain't heard nothing about Errol Spence, about his health. Hopefully he recovering. Like I said, it's strictly boxing. Don't know that man personally. That goes for Crawford as well. But at the end of the day, people is gonna make fun and say Crawford fighting him. But at the end of the day, everybody know PBC got all the welterweights. You don't see Egidijus, you don't see Lipinets saying Boogeyman Terrence Crawford name. So I just leave it at that. People just gonna make fun. Oh, he can't get nobody to fight. At the end of the day, it is what it is. He gonna take less wear and tear, fighting more opposition. At the end of the day, Errol Spence, hopefully he get better, he recover, able to provide food for his family, then entertainment for us. But the Mean Machine, he can punch, but he been looking pedestrian his last few fights. All right, I've been watching the last few fights, and Ray Robinson, people think he lost, and right now, he's just a real strong guy. And when you strong, you can punch. You always got a chance. And when you're in the upset, I don't underestimate no fighter. And Crawford been training, helping Jamil Heron out, and hopefully he don't underestimate no fighter. But the Mean Machine definitely can hit the money shot, and you never know. Crawford is 32 years old, but I expect Crawford to do a job on him. I'm just happy to see the brother perform, and I'll talk about him a little bit at the end. But Richard Commey and Teofimo Lopez, I think, is one of the most anticipated fights coming up. I obviously got Regis and Josh. We got Shakur and Joette Gonzalez. Also got Beterbiev, Goldsvik, Canelo, Kovalev, Wilder Ortiz, the rematch. Herring, Lamont, Roach. You got a lot of great fights coming up. But this fight, Lopez wrote a check that his ass got to cash now. His mom wrote a check his ass got to cash. And his daddy. He was looking like he was trying to duck that fight because his family wasn't happy with his partner of choice, his wife. And at the end of the day, he got to walk that walk. And by walking that walk, not only do we got to walk over Richard Commey, he got to walk over, oh boy, Lomachenko, to make people believers. I believe in the kid's talent, but you need experience. And I believe he's lacking some things. He fought a Tyler guy, Moshi Tanaki, whatever his name is. I think he got a humbling lesson. He been less talking shit and doing interviews. So right now he need to be going to work, fixing his errors, which they all have. But Commey is a mountain that he can conquer. Okay, he can beat Richard Commey. Commey ain't the greatest fighter out there, but he's strong. He got that grown man strength. He got power. He got speedy, dynamic. And Andre Rozier just put a hell of a game plan with Derevchenko and Triple G. So this fight right here, I'm looking forward to breaking down the tape. I slightly favor Richard Commey, but I do believe if it is close, that they're going to give it to Lopez because Lopez and Lomachenko sells better than Commey. But there's always a chance that Lopez might get out of there and say, I can't make weight versus Lomachenko and vacate the belt. But right now, I think it's one of the better fights coming down the stretch to close out the decade. And Lopez can easily arrive as the next great fighter on the rise if he beat Commey going into 2020. And I think he need to be eating, sleeping, and shitting boxing to overcome Richard Commey. But Commey, once again, he's athletic, but he ain't the greatest fighter. He hittable. You know what I'm saying? And don't be surprised if Lopez rebound from the Tanaki fight and have a great fight versus Lopez, because Lopez could be on that. Commey got on that canvas before, but I think Lopez to win, he gonna have to conquer some things that he hasn't dealt with in the hurt business, and I think it's a very winnable fight. I slightly favor Commey, but what makes me back away from making Commey a decent favorite is that, you know, Top Rank is going to want Lopez and Lomachenko. You know, I think if it's close, it's going to go to Lopez, but quite frankly, I don't care who win the fight. None of them, other than Crawford. I just love the sport. But yeah, some more Crawford news real quick. At the end of the day, when Bomac said that they got a plan, Crawford does have a plan if PBC refuses to give him a life raft, which is maybe Egidijus, Lipinets. Obviously it won't be Pacquiao or Mikey Garcia, but you know, Errol Spence is out for right now. So I heard if Carlos Adames beats Patrick Teixeira, I think that's November. If you didn't know, Jaime Munguia vacated his 154 WBO title. I'm hearing sometime next year Crawford can go up and fight Adames and be a 4-division world champion. Okay, he won one at 35, won a few at 40, won one at 40 and 47. Now, I expect him to go back down and get the 47-pound title, but I don't know if that's going to be next for Crawford to move up and fight Adames. But Adames got to beat Patrick Teixeira. I think that's sometime in November, and if you do, you might see Crawford and Adames in the ring sometime next year. So, you know, they got a plan to keep Crawford active. At the end of the day, you never know. Maybe Kell Brooks signs with Top Rank. He get back in there. You know, Luis Collazo is the IBF mandatory. Maybe the WBC, if Earl is out a minute, they order Danny Garcia or Egidijus and Danny Garcia to fight Crawford for the interim belt, which I think that's what the WBC should do to try to force Crawford and Errol Spence to do their part. I think they should order Crawford to fight for the WBC interim belt, maybe versus Danny Egidijus, and get that fight popping. But, you know, Crawford could only fight who Top Rank can supply. People say, well, Top Rank doing Crawford a disservice, but at the end of the day, every prominent welterweight division is on PBC roster, and ain't none of them coming out there saying they want to fight Bud. You know, they offered Danny, they offered Sean when he got the WBC belt, and they also offered Keith Thurman, and he confirmed that. You know, so at the end of the day, he might have to take on Sean Porter sometime next year, which, you know, if Sean Porter still want that fight, why not? But hey, it is what it is. I'll link the article in the description, proving the story to be true. It's at Madison Square Garden, December 14th. Right now, the only other fights on that night is Danny Jacob and Chavez, I believe, will fall that night. And then the UFC pay-per-view card on that night, and possibly Gervonta Tank Davis fighting Gamboa that night. But right now, PBC don't have a Fox New York card that night right now. So appreciate everybody for checking in. Let me know what you guys think. All the fights will be on ESPN, not ESPN Plus, and not ESPN pay-per-view after the Heisman Trophy night. Appreciate the love, support. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, The Health Blaze, at thehealthblaze.com. Promo code Goodfellow1Boxing, get you 18% off the 100% all natural products, lotion, soaps, foot soaks, bath bombs, deodorant, toothpaste, hair pomade, and much, much more. Website, promo code, description. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out to the email if you got business questions, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests. Fast way to get in touch with me is Twitter and email. Want to make a donation, links description. Continue to share the videos. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time. Goodfellow Sports TV.